Welcome to BFR Radio, a podcast dedicated to all things blood flow restriction training. This podcast is proudly sponsored by the BFR.co, where if you want to buy your own BFR cuffs, access online BFR training programs, increase your own BFR knowledge with the accredited BFR.co course, or you want more information about this type of training, this is your one place to go. And I'm your host, Dr. Chris Gavilio. Today I have a good friend of mine, Sean Jorgensen. Welcome aboard.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, thank you. I've known Sean for a while. Our kids go to the same school and he has a great interest in sport. And he's got a couple of really good stories. And initially when we were going to do this podcast, we were going to do it yesterday and he was smoking some meat, loves smoking some meat. And I actually thought about putting the camera here. We couldn't get that vision, but the food is absolutely delicious.
Part two, we'll get part two with the smoke.
Yeah, definitely. Decided to come round his place again because it's nice little backdrop. So if you hear the plane going, kids screaming in the background, we're just outside enjoying a beautiful Australian summer. Tell a little bit about yourself and about how you first got into BFR.
Like you said, our kids, they go to the school. Our kids have the common interests. We've met through there. They love to play their sport. And it was through Ange. She was telling me about your BFRs, about the cuffs, the stuff you do. I was a little bit skeptical at start, but then when she said you do it with the Maroons, the footballers, the athletes, I got interested because I love working out. I do lots of workouts. I love going to the gym all the time, but I'm always sore, injured, hurting, and she was telling me that you can use these cuffs and they'll help. Straight away, I started thinking about it, looking at it, got in contact with you, had a go, started trying them, had them for a year. And the benefit that I've noticed is I work at the wharf. I'm a crane driver at the wharf. I drive heavy machinery. There's a lot of sitting down. There's not a lot of movement. And then when I'm not driving machineries, I'm up working on the ships, lashing and using heavy bars, chains. Started getting sore all the time. I would go try to do a workout. I didn't feel like doing workouts. I'd go to the gym and I'd struggle, didn't know what to do. So I started using the cup and wow, I was instantly amazed. And I've even had them on when I'm driving home because I could be a bit sore. I put them on for the drive home and my elbow, the pain would start going away. Being able to work out, do the workout with the job that I do now, it is great. The benefits, the legs, my lower back, I had injuries with my back. I can now put the leg bands on and do low weight. I don't have pains, injuries, there's no restriction. And when the kids do their homework, I put them on sometimes, do the squats, do stretching, just anything.
So we'll just go back a little bit. Most people have a sporting history. You're quite tall. How tall are you? Like, what's your size?
6'4".
6'4", and roughly what's your body weight?
120, floats around that.
Yeah. Age?
38.
38. And so I'm approaching 45 and probably in the same boat, not the same size, but we both enjoy going to the gym. And there's still that want to be able to lift a reasonable amount of load. I remember when you first came to me, there was two things, and we're going to delve a little bit deeper into them, and that's why the podcast is called Better Backs and Bigger Biceps, is that you had a sore back, and also with the upper body cuffs, I've got these bigger cuffs, and I had samples at the time, and the original cuffs I had just fit your arms. And I said, well, look, when you outgrow the original cuffs, I'll give you my samples. And now I've got them fully in stock. What I want to really unpack a little bit is just around your job. And I think just in terms of our normal lifestyle, we're driving a lot, driving to work, we're sitting down. In your case, your job is very physical. However, you do a lot of sitting, driving a crane. So just get you to just probably explain that a little bit more. And then how you first used the cuffs and what you started to feel. So, and then when you go to the gym that you wanted to try and lift the weights that I used to lift.
Yeah, of course. You want to you want to walk out feeling like you're Arnie. You try and do as much and the big pump, but as you get older, gee, you could just put the bar on the next thing on my shoulder or my back or something.
And because we have busy lifestyles, you have 3 children and a very active father, loving husband, and you're being busy. The important thing for us as we age is we've got to continue to exercise. That's very important. But, having that motivation going in. So probably just unpack a little bit, just explain your job briefly, the different components of the sit-in and the physicality and what you normally feel in that job. And then just some examples about how you've used the cuff. We know you've alluded to that just a second ago, but when you first used it, what did you do? What did you feel? And then just build on some of those really great examples you started with earlier.
Well, I work at the wall, so I drive heavy machine. I'm almost 17 years there. And for the last, say, 6-7 years, I've been driving the crane. And the cranes, they're great fun to drive, but you're in a seated position and you're constantly looking down. And I found we had some older cranes, newer cranes. We'd have different seating. You got to try and adjust to look after yourself. And I found when I was driving the older crane, I couldn't raise the seat up enough. So my hips, my lower back, there was a lot of pressure on that because sitting for a couple of hours bent over would start taking its effect, its toll. I noticed slowly I wasn't going to the gym as much. That started taking a back seat. I was using the job as an excuse, but I was always sore, hurt. Other jobs within there, we have to carry bars. We lash the containers, tie them all down.
Is that what lashing is?
Yeah, that's heavy, intense. That's picking up big bars, short bars, but a lot of bending down, picking up. And you do that 8 hours a day or for a few days in a row, it takes a toll on you. I remember going around to seniors, said you can use these for short workouts, like when I do with the kids' homework, sometimes I put them on. You only need half an hour, 20 minutes, not even that. My work, when I come in from my smoko break, my lunch break, I'd go into my little gym at my work. And I only have a short period.
How long?
20, 25 minutes.
Okay.
And I'd put them on. And I could hit upper body, lower body. I'd walk back out to work and you're feeling great. At start, I was a bit, putting bands on. I didn't know how they're going to help work or benefit. At work, if I'm working and I don't get to go to the gym that day or I've missed going to the gym, I can throw them on, do a 25-minute workout really quick and benefit it all. Feel great. Then other times I can go in there and catch up on stretching, just stretching, put them on. And like I said, I've been driving, my lower back's a bit sore. I throw them on, do a lot of stretching, and the benefit and how I found at first putting on the leg ones, I was walking around a bit funny. They were like not uncomfortable. I was trying to adjust to it. To now I put them on, I walk around. I'm used to it. I know what it feels like. And yeah, I can bend, I can do all my workouts, I can target what I need to, and I'm done in 20 minutes.
I think one thing to also realize is that you do shift work.
Oh, shift work.
So when we first started speaking about how you use the bands, is that if we had like a simple 9-to-5 job where you had no extra external commitments, you'd slot your gym in 3 times a week and fit in perfectly. However, the reality of life and your work is that if you're working a night shift, you need to sleep, taking the kids to sport and after school curricular activities, that sometimes, well, as you said, you may only have time around the house to do something. In terms of lower body, and this is one thing I love about BFR, is that it's pretty simple. You don't have to be creating a special BFR lower body exercise. If we're doing a lower body session, what would be some of your key exercises? What kind of repetitions? Would there be anything that you find, I really love pairing 1 or 2 or 3 exercises together?
So when I get those quick workouts in at work in the gym, I love doing my squats. I put them on, I'll do squats. I try and do 3 sets of 10 to 15. It's always on my third that I try and go a bit further to see, but by the end of your third one, your legs, they're gassed. You really do feel it. But when I first started, I would do a particular exercise, deflate, have a rest, then inflate them again and do the next one. But what I started doing recently is I do my squats. And as I finish doing the 10 or so, I walk over and I pair it with the goblin squat or just simple little deadlifts or just something else to really push and benefit doing a quick workout, but on the low weight. So leg extension, I was doing leg extensions, and as I hop up and walk around, I'd do lunges as well at the same time. Then I come back, you deflate, and then I go do my squats and pair it with another, and that was in my 20-minute workout. Love doing the hamstring curls. I do those, and again, I'd pair it with a deadlift or something just to keep it going. I love doing, at the moment, the squats with them, because beforehand, I used to do a lot of the squats because I have a rugby union background. I wanted to get the bigger legs. My lower back would start going, and then I'm out for a week or two, can't go. So now I'll put them on, could do that, get down low, do my squats, feel it in the legs, hop up, shake them off, feel great, do another little exercise with it. But I can actually squat down, do it all. And just recently, the little tip you said of parting the floor, really, really feel that in your legs. Yeah, and with my lower body, that's what I get to do. If I get to go to the gym before work, then I have that hour. I can do a good workout, solid plan it. But again, my favorite at the moment is doing squats. 3 sets of 10.
What weight roughly?
Ranging from sometimes just the bar to maybe 10, 20, 60 kilos. Not much at all.
Yeah.
Don't need to do. As I said, I'm always just conscious on my lower back, but I've been able to do all these workout, walk out, no pain, nothing, go to work or go off to football, netball, the swimming, and just not have that where beforehand I'd be like, oh, if I sit down too long, I'm going to have a sore back. I can go and just be involved, do it all.
Just on that point there, when you look at normal literature out there, they talk about different protocols, and literature talks about the 75 rep protocol where the first set you do 30 reps followed by 3 sets of 15. And I've spoken about when you're supersetting a lot of exercises, you don't need to do that. And personally, I reckon we'd be very similar, is that get me to do the 30 reps? Never. Maybe 15 at a stretch. Therefore, what you are essentially doing is, because you're pairing 2 exercises together or supersetting 2 exercises, you're kind of getting that huge rep range anyway. But what you are doing is you're hitting as many muscle groups as you can within a shorter period of time. And the benefit with BFR training is the exercises that you choose. So if you want to train your hamstrings, you need to do hamstring curls with BFR cups on. If you want to do glutes, you do some hip thrusters or some glute bridges. Therefore, what I'm picking up is that you're saying you need to maximize as many muscle groups as you physically can in a shorter period of time.
Yeah, and that's the benefit of them. When I only have a short smoko break or quick little downtime, get in, get it done, and wow, it's amazing, yeah.
And the other thing I'd like to comment on is just around the range and the flexibility that you're getting out of it. And I think most of the time when people think about flexibility, they think about long stretches or yoga. And I do know that I'm the same. As we get older, we're not as pliable. We're like that plasticine that goes a little bit hard over time, and we're just not as pliable. And we don't use our joints in those same ranges of movement that we do when we're little kids. By what I'm hearing is that because the weight is light, you've got great muscle activation. And the other thing I speak a lot to you about, and you've highlighted, is decreases joint and tendon pain. So if you are feeling a little bit creaky in the hips and in the knees or in the back.
Oh, the knee, yeah, everywhere, yeah, anywhere.
So you're decreasing the pain and you feel like you want to get a little bit more range because you're able to, because there's no pain. The joints feel somewhat lubricated, and you're getting an active range of movement. So you're getting to ranges of movement that you don't normally do, so that rather than sitting down in the crane working and then on your smoker break, having these small ranges of movement, you're now able to achieve greater ranges of movement to give you some level of flexibility. And then because now you're able to, whether they're short sessions or long sessions, you're able to piece that together over time. And that's the key to getting the benefits to exercise. And we're not about benching 200 kilos or any more, but it's rather feeling good about ourselves and, you know, having a level of strength so you can still be functional in your job.
As you said with benching, I used to have a sore chest when I benched because I was trying to go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, I'm not going to make the wallabies, so what's the point? I put them on and now I try and do the lower, build myself up and try and do more. And that I find so much more benefit now as to when I was younger. I was trying to do, you might do 150, but you're doing it once and you walk around going, yeah. But in the long run, I started getting a sore chest or sore pecs or anything. Yeah. So now I try and do lower, more, and you walk out feeling better than doing the 150 once or 200 once.
Yeah.
So,
and feel a bit nicer. And I think that's the other thing as well, is like working with athletes, I still have to tell the athletes that I train with the amount of warm-up sets that's truly needed to be done before you start lifting heavy. And if you look at weightlifters, for example, they do lots of warm-up sets before they do their main sets. And a lot of the athletes I work at, they just want to get into their 3 or 4 main sets. And as a result, what you're doing, because you light weights, lots of repetition, the BFR cuffs increases muscle activation, helps with that blood flow, increasing all our anabolic hormone concentrations. So you're priming yourself nicely for your main set. And you're at that stage where, well, we don't have to be pushing for the 150 kilos. If the session is going well and you feel like doing a double at a nice, good weight for where we're at in life, excellent. But as you said, you could leave that session feeling good, the level of satisfaction with the session, which I think is important. So now we're talking about the upper body. You have these cuffs, the original cuffs that you put on.
Too short. I remember I was like, no, I'm going to show him, and went, and I was doing so much just to try and get, and I remember the day, like, because they're going, they don't fit. You could see it. They don't join anymore.
Yeah. And that was the challenge I put to him. It was to say, well, if the day that I can't touch is, I'll have to give you my sample. And he said, oh, they don't fit anymore. Throw to us some sample sessions, because everyone wants bigger pipes.
So what I love doing, put them on, inflate them up. I get my barbell, say about 20 kilos, 3 sets of. But whilst I've done that, I go over and then I grab another, only about 10 kilos or so, and do the long range, like big. And when you do them, I can't help but you're there, you look at it and you're going, oh, your veins are popping, or your arms. And you do that 3 sets of 10 and you finish and you look at your arms and you go, wow, they look massive, they feel great. And you sit there going, wow, I can't believe. Where beforehand you used to do heaps. And I didn't seem to feel like it's benefiting. The 20-minute break I have at work, go in, do the arm, go over, do another one. I normally get to the 3rd set, and that's when you try and go for as much. On that 3rd one, your arms are absolute pumping. You could see it on it too. It's great fun. I love it. You actually see the results pretty quick using the cuffs. So it was great. It was a great little challenge. I do it all the time. I love it. So that's one of my favorites. Just doing arm curls. And yeah, you see it.
Yeah. So arm curls, really just, once again, supersetting lots of high repetitions and just having that level of variety of picking 2 exercises. And once again, that's the good thing about any kind of session with BFR, is you're picking the exercises of the muscle groups you want to actually train. And you've alluded to already, in a normal upper body session, just run through globally where you would start and how you would piece it all together.
Well, if I'm at the gym and I'm not restricted, I can go in and slowly work up to it, warm up your body. But I love hitting the bench press, and then I do my arms.
So bench press would be your number one exercise?
Yeah, number one, yeah.
And if you have time, you do your high reps first to get yourself warmed up. Then would you go slightly heavier?
Yeah, so I start off 60 kilos and I work my way up. I go 60, 70, 80, 90, the 100. And when I start getting higher, to feel like I'm not pushing or struggling or getting to a point where I'm going to fail, I'd only do 2 or 3, then have a break, then get back to 2 or 3, and then have a break on the high ones. And I didn't really find much of a difference if I had the bands on or off, or if I had them on, I found them a lot better. And when I had them off, I was still able to do the same weight, but it felt more comfortable and natural to do the bigger weights with them on. But yeah, bench press was always the first, and I worked my way up. Like I said before, I'm not trying to go back up to what I was able to bench a while ago, but as I get up to there, I find that's enough. Or other times, if I'm just doing 90 kilos, get to 90 kilos, I try and do 15. I try and do that high rep. And by the time you're on your third one, you can only do like 8. You feel it. And you feel like you benefit more than if you're trying to go the high one. So bench press was always the first.
Yeah, and just briefly, the reason why Sean's gone the higher load and the lower reps, we've actually been speaking about the training that he does, and we spoke about some of the work, all the training that I've been doing and some of the readings that I've been doing about the higher load strength training with the cuffs on, and some really great papers out there. And we spoke about cluster training, and consequently he's listened. And I think that's one thing I find as well, is that I enjoy the heavier work with them on. Done your main set, you got your bench press over and done with, and then what would you move on to after that?
When I'm at the gym, I try and do a whole heap of variety of the upper body. But when I'm at work, if I only have that 20 minutes, I'll do the bench press, but I'm then just targeting the chest, and I'll do the cable flies. I do that 3 sets of 10 or 15. And then I was doing the incline bench press, just targeting the chest, or the dumbbell bench press. Love it. The bigger dumbbells, you feel great. I'll just target the one area when I'm working, because I only get a short time. And after the 20 minutes, when you walk out, your chest pumping.
Feel great.
Yeah. But if I'm at the gym and I have that time, I'll do the bench, and I'll do another chest exercise, but I'll mix it up, and I'll put in the arms. I love doing the lat pull down.
What's a good pairing? Lat pull down, do you superset that with anything?
Yeah, I do the lat pull down, and then I go over and do the pull up machine, do that one together, just so I can really hit it, really benefit it with the arms, do the biceps. And I'll try and do a whole variety, just when you have your time, yeah. But when it's short time, I just specifically will target one and try and do 4 or 5 exercises.
Yep, 4 or 5, yep.
And then if I have the time, when I go to the gym, that's when I'll do a little circuit workout.
I was just thinking, as you were talking there, about having a variety of exercises. And when you have a big training age, you've been going to the gym for years and years, variety is the spice of life, because you've been doing the same exercises for so long. And so thinking about that, having the ability to have variety is excellent. But normally, if you didn't have to have the cuffs, it would probably take you a few sessions to truly get the benefit from that exercise. Because let's just say I haven't done an underhand grip pull down in 8 months, or I've never done it before. It's going to take me a session to kind of sort the weight out, because I want to make sure it's good weight. Session 2, I'd be getting into it, feeling really great. Probably session 3 or 4, that's when I'm starting to feel some really good benefit. Whereas you can now lower the weight, just up the repetitions, you're supersetting it, and within the first time you've done that brand new exercise, you feel the benefit straight away. Which I think then, if you say, well, today I've got to make sure I'm touching my chest, my back, my shoulders or arms, And then you could just be plugging and playing, exercising. And because you are supersetting, the reps are really high, the weight is really low. You're ticking all the boxes in terms of low load BFR protocol. You're just doing it a little differently.
As you said before, variety and that sort of stuff. Before I actually come and saw you to get the bands, I started going through a bit of a period like you go to the gym and go, it felt a bit stagnant. It was just the same thing over and over and over. Now, if you don't do a few days, missed a few days, and if I haven't worn the bands for a few days, I have I'm missing it. I feel like you feel like an addict almost. And I want to get to the gym. I need to put them on and have a go because you're in that zone straight away. I only just recently had a hip injury from work. I didn't get to work out for a period, and that was starting to get me down a little bit. But what helped me recover a lot faster was I had the lower bands on. I was doing my stretches to try and get myself back. I went and did a workout with Ange in the gym, and I was telling the trainer there, Julie, and she helped me out with a lot of the stretches to help me get that movement back. That when I come home and was started to repeat and do that, I was wearing the band, and my recovery was so much faster. It got me back to the gym, and I was able to do my workouts, put them on. I didn't feel like I was missing out. Like you said, the variety is you put them on, and as soon as you do any sort of workout, you're in that zone straight away with it.
Yeah, I think that's the key.
Beneficial level. So your variety, change up your workouts just so you don't get stagnant or bored, but you can keep going to do the same thing every day still, and you're in that hurt locker straight away, or building the muscle or focusing on that muscle with them on, and that just keeps you going every day, because that to me feels like that's my variety of putting them on. If I don't have them on, then I'll just feel like working out. Put them on, boom, I could do the same thing every day. Straight away gets you into it.
I think also when you have them on, it doesn't matter whether you put 5 kilos less on the bar or you do 2 reps less, because it's that metabolic stress or that feeling of that pump or the fullness from a simplistic point of view, in that you can feel the muscle working. Whereas traditionally, if you're 5 kilos less without the cuffs on, or you're not hitting those extra 2 reps, you don't have that same feeling. Typically, you're fatigued or you're a little bit twingy and you're grinding, and it's unenjoyable.
I used to finish a night shift and try and go do a workout, and then you're there going, oh, I'm not even nowhere near what I was benching last week. I'm struggling. And I finish a night shift, I'll go do a quick workout, put them on. Even if it's 5-10 kilos, you still feel the same as if you're doing it the other week with the more weight or low weight. Doesn't matter. It's how many repetitions, how many times. And like I said, but I love trying to get to that third one, do as many as I can to the 15. By the time you get to 10, you get.
Yeah, and in terms of a protocol, you're hitting all the right spots. Just want to briefly retouch on stretching with the cuffs, because normally everyone loves what goes on in literature. That's not normally done, or I should say, rather, there's not a lot of publicity about stretching. Just briefly explain stretching with the cuffs on.
Yeah, hurt my hip. I saw Julie at the Parkinson, the 411 CrossFit, and she got me moving. She got me doing the stretches. And like you said before earlier, we're getting a lot older. We're not as nimble. We're not flexible.
Supple,
yeah. So I did the stretches. I was able to do the workout. I come home. I felt pretty good. The next day, I wanted to do the stretches again. As I was doing, I thought, why don't I chuck them on? I don't inflate them up as much, because if you put them on too high, then like I learned that with the bike ride, I did it really high. I was gassed after a minute. So I'd have them on 20 to 30 lower than what I normally would have. So you still have it on, still feel it in there, but it was helping me with my stretching. I was able to use the lower cuffs 10, 15 minutes. Beforehand, I would struggle to try bend down to touch your toes or bend down to try and do those stretches. You put them on after a while, it was freeing up. When I was trying to bend or stretch or move any, feel it throbbing, was hurting, I put them on, the cuffs. I didn't have the pain. I was able to do the stretching, hold the poses, and then get back to what I am now, 100%, no pain. But even just wearing them sometimes when the kids still have it. With injuries, when I drove home, I had them on upper body just because my elbow was a little sore.
And that's from all that chains and the bars that you're moving to work.
So you have to be an athlete to benefit from them. You can be just a dad, father.
Super dad.
Yeah, that works and tries to stay fit. The benefit of them has been mind-blowing. And it helped me get back from my injury a lot quicker.
And makes you happy.
Oh, it did, yeah. It got me back, wanted to go back to the gym. I felt good, got straight back into a couple of big leg workouts with them on. Nothing, no sore hip. I wasn't restricted. I was able to squat down lower. I couldn't believe it, how quickly I was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it's great news. So just bringing this all together now as we're coming to a close, you're maximizing these cuffs, how I see it. You're using them for short bursts, short gym sessions to maximize what little time you have. You're using it to maximize and give you variety in the longer sessions. You're using it for some aerobic work. You've learned the hard way that we decrease by around, I always say around 20 to 30 mils of mercury. I think that's really important. You're using them for pain from working around the house, incidental exercises, we call it, so walking around, and flexibility, which I think is really interesting concept there of being able to get into some better ranges and maintain that. So you're bringing a holistic training philosophy forward, but you're just using a tool to help enhance your response.
Exactly, yeah. As you said before, I use them for cardio for the bike. When I found out the first time, you don't inflate them up as high. So I deflated. I was able to do a big, long bike ride where I watch my movie. You do 20 minutes, you hop off and go, wow. Your joints, your ankles, your calves, the knees, nothing hurt. You walk off and your legs feel amazing. Where beforehand you could do it after 5 minutes, you're going, oh, they're starting to get tired, sore. Whereas now you do 20 minutes, they help you get through it. Like they're out here and you go, wow.
Yeah, definitely. That's covered an amazing array of examples. And that's why we've been talking about getting you on podcast for months and months and months.
Mm-hmm.
And you've alluded to some little extra things which just keep surprising me, which is just fantastic. You're open to that. Just before we close, anything else that you wanted to add?
You don't need to be a athlete to benefit from these. If you wanted to start and get straight into working out, getting healthier, fitter, they're a great tool to use. If you haven't done working out or gym sessions in a long time, it'd be a great tool to use, because when I do these sessions, the next day, I don't have that sore muscle fatigue. If you did a massive leg day one day, then the next day you can't walk around, you're there.
Yeah.
No, I don't have that. Or your arms, same thing. You don't have that pain the next day. So like me, you're late 30s, you don't do any more sport, or you still do sport and you want something to help transition into that next sort of stage of your life, to help out with workouts, to help out, is use BFRs, use this product, and the benefits will be amazing. You won't regret it.
That's a good point.
What I have found, you don't need to be a superstar athlete. You can be just a dad who's trying to get fitter, healthier, stronger. So he's there running the line for football, going to the netball, going to the swimming carnivals, doing all that, and able to work too. Because if I get hurt or injured and I'm at home, you're not getting the money, bringing the money in.
And you said about people who are wanting to start the gym. There's actually a lot of people who don't enjoy going to the gym. They find it intimidating. And as you suggested, you could be putting them on around your house.
Doing the housework, putting them on,
mowing the lawn,
doing anything.
putting the washing on the live. I've actually got a client who had 3 shoulder surgeries and he had pain on his shoulder, and he would actually put the washing on the line, put the cuffs on, put the washing, and we talk about the incidental, because you're moving this exercise, and he'd go from being sore lifting his arms up to being pain-free.
If I had these during COVID when I had to be at home with the kids every day, that would have been great. It would have been a great little stress relief. My only regret is I never got into these a lot sooner. That's my big thing. I would have loved to benefit more from it.
From my point of view, it's just great that you're open to it, because it is something a little different. And it does take a while for people to come around. And once they do start training with it, they see the benefits just like you have.
I love when I go to the gym and people come up and go, "What is that you're wearing?" And I show them, explain to it. They think, "Wow, that's great. Like, how do I get it? What do I do? How do I get in touch?" I tell them, talk to them. Yeah, it's great. I can't believe, like I said, my only regret is I never did it earlier.
It's good that you're doing it now. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Your stories are just fantastic.
Too easy. I can't wait. If there's going to be a part 2, we'll have the smoker, and yeah.
Part 2, we'll be doing it over when he's smoking some meats. Thanks for joining in for today's podcast, and thanks again to Sean for joining us.
No worries. Thank you.
See you next time. And that's all today for this episode of BFR Radio. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to catch up on lots of great BFR training content on our Instagram page, which is @thebfr.co, or alternatively on Twitter, which is @thebfr_co. For more information and to order your own set of BFR cuffs, please visit our website, which is www.thebfr.co. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep the pump.